The shifting sands of U.S. immigration policy, a Trump administration rollback. The Biden administration's utilization of the CBP One App, a digital scheduling system for asylum seekers, dramatically altered the landscape of U.S. immigration. Since its implementation in January 2023, over 900,000 individuals gained entry into the United States, securing appointments via the app and subsequently applying for asylum. This unprecedented influx, facilitated by the use of Presidential Parole Authority, granted these individuals a 2-year stay, complete with work authorization, pending adjudication of their asylum claims. By December's end, a staggering 936,500 people had successfully navigated this digital pathway to entry, leveraging CBP One appointments at the U.S.-Mexico border crossings. This seemingly efficient system, designed to streamline the asylum process and provide a degree of order to the influx of migrants, stands in stark contrast to the abrupt policy shifts enacted by the Trump administration. Upon assuming office, the Trump administration immediately terminated the CBP One program for new applicants, effectively stranding thousands in Mexico who held appointments extending into early February. This swift and decisive action signaled a significant departure from the Biden administration's approach, leaving many in a state of limbo and uncertainty. The Trump administration's actions extend beyond the immediate cancellation of CBP One. A broader campaign to unwind many of the temporary immigration statuses granted under the Biden administration is underway. This dismantling of existing policies affects numerous individuals who had found a degree of stability and legal standing under the previous administration's more lenient approach. The revocation of these temporary statuses represents a fundamental shift in the administration's approach to immigration, with potentially devastating consequences for those affected. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, issued a statement on Monday, unequivocally condemning the Biden administration's expansive use of parole authority. The DHS statement asserted that the Biden administration's unprecedented reliance on parole, exceeding any previous administration since its inception in 1952, directly contributed to what it described as the worst border crisis in U.S. history. This strongly worded statement encapsulates the Trump administration's perspective on the immigration situation and underscores the severity of their concerns. Adding further complexity to this evolving situation, the DHS announced last month the revocation of another form of parole, impacting 532,000 individuals from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, who had entered the country at their own expense with financial sponsors. This revocation, scheduled to take effect on April 24th, leaves a significant number of people facing potential deportation, raising concerns about the humanitarian consequences of such a sweeping measure. The abruptness of the announcement adds to the anxieties experienced by those affected, leaving little time for preparation or alternative planning. The Trump administration's dismantling of temporary protections extends to those granted temporary protected status, TPS. Announcements have been made regarding the termination of TPS for an estimated 600,000 Venezuelans and approximately 500,000 Haitians. However, a federal judge has temporarily halted these terminations, offering a glimmer of hope for these individuals who face the prospect of immediate deportation. This temporary reprieve particularly impacts around 350,000 Venezuelans who were scheduled to lose their TPS on Monday, highlighting the legal battles and uncertainties inherent in these policy reversals. The 18-month increments of TPS, typically granted to individuals already residing in the U.S., whose home countries are deemed unsafe due to natural disasters or civil unrest, provide a crucial lifeline to those fleeing dangerous or unstable situations. The sudden termination of this protection, regardless of the ongoing legal challenges, exposes the vulnerability of those seeking refuge in the United States and casts a shadow on the nation's commitment to humanitarian aid. The contrasting approaches of the Biden and Trump administrations highlight the profound ideological differences in their immigration philosophies. The Biden administration sought to establish a more humane and organized system through digital tools like CBP One, acknowledging the need for efficient and compassionate processing of asylum seekers. The Trump administration, on the other hand, prioritizes a more restrictive approach, viewing the Biden policies as overly lenient and contributing to a crisis at the border. The implications of these policy shifts are far-reaching, affecting not only the individuals directly impacted, but also the broader societal fabric. The economic consequences, the humanitarian ramifications, and the legal battles that will undoubtedly ensue all contribute to a complex and evolving situation that demands careful consideration and nuanced understanding. The ongoing legal challenges and the sheer number of individuals affected underscore the urgency and significance of the immigration debates currently shaping the national conversation. The future of these individuals and the future of U.S. immigration policy itself remains uncertain, caught in the crosscurrents of conflicting political agendas and legal battles. The human cost of these policy changes cannot be ignored, demanding a thorough and compassionate assessment of the long-term implications.